Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubby, Son Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto
with Michael,
Son Ranto
and Crawley,
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
Son Ranto.
Well, that was kind of
quiet. All is quiet on the winter front.
Yeah, dude, that was pretty weak. It shouldn't be winter. We're supposed to be celebrating pitchers and catchers this week, but instead we're going to sit here and we're going to complain about a lockout, unfortunately. Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Rocket. This is the Son Ranto Show. I'm here with Michael Cotton and, of course, Crawley's Cubs, running the most fabulous bobblehead competition on Twitter right now. What's going on with the standings there, Crawley?
Looking at the standings right now, it's getting fast and furious. We're finishing round 2, so we'll then get into round 3, and that's when you kind of, the cream rises to the top. So it's getting exciting. We got a couple battles going on tonight. We got Anthony Rizzo, season ticket holder, versus the Schwarber scoreboard home run. Joe Tinker versus Albert Almora. Kyoji Fujikawa in a battle against Clark the Cub. Chris Bryant golfing versus the All-American Girl. Arrieta, Lester, and Hendricks versus Joe Madden, Manager of the Year. Rizzo versus Dempster. Contreras versus Red Grange. And in a battle of the shortstops, Starlin Castro versus Ernie Banks.
Yeah, I'm really interested in how that Kyoji Fujikawa versus Clark the Cub battle's going to turn out. That's a real Donnybrook right there.
Yeah, my question is, which one of those two will have more of a lasting effect on the Cubs?
Unfortunately,
the player or the mascot?
The Clark one was his first bobblehead, and it's a rare one because they only give it to the first 5,000 children. So that's when you see like the bobblehead nerds like try to rent kids for the day.
Crawley goes in there with like shoes on his knees.
No. You sit there, and that's when you volunteer and you say, hey, I'm going to take the kids to a Cubs game. And then you find the cheap 400 seats and StubHub and bring like 10 kids in and take their bobbleheads away from them.
Exactly. You're just using orphans. Oh my God. We're off to a hell of a start on this show. Well, I want to mention that we are doing the Chance for a Chance postcard giveaway in the chat. Hashtag chance with a capital C, hashtag chance, and you could win a postcard of Frank Chance to you from me. And I will even include a personal message. Here's an example of a Frank Chance postcard, which I guess that was a tobacco card. This one, somebody commented on Facebook that this was a old tobacco card, I guess.
It makes sense for that era.
Yeah, the chances are chancing in right now, so it's very exciting. We've had 2 multiple winners already. Like people, John Vasky won twice, and Artie Boucher won twice. So like we're gonna need a new winner this time. So hashtag chance.
John's letting people get in on it. He's sitting this one out.
All right, that's
nice.
fair. So we wanted to do something kind of special tonight. Just because the news is all bad on the MLB front, which is pretty frustrating for all of us. We're supposed to be celebrating pitchers and catchers this week. This is usually a time for massive amounts of joy and excitement for baseball fans everywhere. But instead, we're sitting here with holding our wands in our hands, just wondering what the hell's going to go, what's going to happen.
I mean, that's always my favorite part of the Super Bowl is right after pitchers and catchers report.
Yeah. And everybody tweets. They're like, no, it's baseball season. We're all excited. And right now we'd be showing pictures. Like we might even be down there. Like, I don't know. We might even have gone, and we'd be taking pictures and, watching pitchers throw to catchers and dudes doing calisthenics in the outfield. So, but no one knows about spring training better than our guest tonight. And I'm really excited. He's I I think a second, possibly third time. This is, I think, second time he's been on the show. Tim Sheridan, who is the voice of spring. He's the PA announcer at spring training for a long time, and he's got a couple of different series. He's got a new one, which is what we're here to talk about today. He's got the Cubs Talk web series, which we already had him on. He's got 2 seasons of that. Very cool stuff. We had him on, did a little series watch. And then there's a cool thing on now that he's going to talk about, which is a new graphic audio novel, which he's got 3 episodes. Call Them the Champs is the first thing. So without further ado, let's bring on Tim Sheridan to tell us all about it. Hi, Tim.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Before
nice
I
to see you.
It's great to see you. And before I get to talking about the graphic audio novel thing, I have to do something because I'm as depressed as anyone about not having spring training. So this is going to be a Sun Ranto exclusive. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to sunny Mesa's Sloan Park, spring training home of your Chicago Cubs.
Oh, that's it. That's right there, Tim. Keep injecting that into my veins.
That was beautiful.
Feel of spring training, even though we don't have a real field down there with any baseball being played yet.
Well, I mean, you got the minor leaguers, right? But they just don't let you in.
Tim, I don't know if you saw this article by Bill Shaken, and I tweeted about it earlier. He was talking about how, a lot of these owners lured cities to build taxpayer-funded ballparks for spring training with the promise of all these tourism dollars. And you know better than anyone that Mesa paid for that beautiful facility. You're now talking about, hey, I know for a fact the Cubs threatened to move to Florida, the Grapefruit League, and did all of that to make sure that they got the votes there. How frustrated are the people in Mesa right now that you're now looking at year 3 of not going to have complete spring training in Mesa?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. And to tell you the truth, I'm actually in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where I've been living for about the past 4 years when I'm not down in Arizona doing spring training, which I was scheduled to go down there tomorrow, but I'm holding off on that just because, we don't know. But yeah, I'm one of those people that, I lived in Mesa for 35, 40 years. And spring training was a thing. Even when I wasn't doing the Cubs announcing, I was going to other games. I was following the Cubs wherever they were going around and playing. So it's just, I can't even imagine the people who literally spend their time and money going from Chicago to rent a place, across from the ballpark or whatever, and they're not getting any spring training. And it's been so disjointed with COVID and everything. I just like things to get back to normal. I know we all would. Jesus, it's crazy.
Yeah, one of those guys is Crawley. He's supposed to be heading out in like a week and a half or 2 weeks.
Luckily, I remember I said that I thought that this would get resolved by March 15th was what I had. So my trip, and I'm coming down, Tim, and I'd hope to have a beer with you. I'll be down there the 21st through the 26th.
Okay, great.
So we'll meet up.
Yeah, and it's frustrating for all of us. And every time I get a little bit of hope with some of the negotiations, some of the news comes out, and Manfred says, "Oh, we got this great offer. There's no doubt about it. The players are gonna accept this one. They're gonna love it." And then
he comes back with, "Let me tell you about NFTs."
Yeah, I know. Well, the meeting lasts 45 minutes, and the players right away are in the press being like, "Not good enough." So it's just like every time. And now I guess the players, we're going to talk about it later on the show, but so it's frustrating for all of us, especially at this moment when we're supposed to be starting up. But at least you're starting something up, Tim. You had a premiere today.
We can kind of get a little bit of baseball from Tim, giving us the
this is
memories.
a throwback to better times for us Cubs fans. That we don't know what this year may hold, and every year is a fresh start. But the after the World Series, it was go for the Cubs. They're touring the trophy around. They're going everywhere, seeing everybody on every show. But the one thing that I keyed in on that was really historical, and it's, it's Black History Month, was this trip to the White House. And it happened to be it was the last official White House event of Barack Obama's presidency. And it was just really an incredible event celebrating the Cubs. And he's a well-spoken guy, not saying that our current president and the one before that aren't, but
I'll say they aren't.
Yeah,
you don't have to say it, but yeah, he was the last guy who could actually talk. Yes.
So I watched it and I was like, this is really amazing, and it was on Martin Luther King Jr. Day of 2017, so it was kind of a special historical day, and I wanted to do something. So what I did is I chopped it up into 3 separate parts that were all kind of their own little pieces of that ceremony, and they're each 3 minutes long, and that's issue 1, 2, and 3 of Call Me the Champs. And it's in a graphic novel style, but yet it's kind of true to the historical. All of what he said is there as he said it. I took some liberties in going from one spot to another. It's not all 3 exactly in a row, but I kind of picked out some of the stuff that I thought was really unique and fun. And the one that dropped today was really where he talked about the link between him standing there as president and Jackie Robinson, coming in as a major league player back then, and then tying that all in with it being MLK Day. So I thought it was a pretty cool and unique time.
Tim, I watched it and just I was looking at all the drawings. Who did that? Was all you?
No, that was C. Carlton Frazier, who worked on some of the old Superman comics.
Oh wow!
No, I'm actually kidding. So
who is Vincent Van Gogh's grandson, Steve?
C. Carlton Frazier was also executive producer of Cub Talks, that show, if you notice, as were a lot of people. And this is the first time. Here's another exclusive for the show here. So with the Cub Talk show, instead of saying that, this person was producer, this person was the editor, this person was this, and that, I used all names from the Cubs 1908 championship team, only I kind of changed them around. So C. Carlton Frazier is actually Chick Frazier from the 1908 championship, because I did it all and I just didn't want my name to be on everything. Tim did this, Tim did that, Tim did that, Tim did this.
You know what, Tim? I do a baseball history podcast and I make it a point to put my name on every little bit of it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You even say it. You're like, produced and written by Michael Cotton, voiced by Michael Cotton. All advertisements, Michael Cotton. Research,
I was looking at the drawings and I just thought some of them just, it was exactly like I kind of remembered it. And in the one in one of them that I saw when Barack Obama is mentioning Michelle's favorite player, Jose Cardinal. I just love that the drawing and the way it looked in Jose and Michelle with the afros. I mean, it was just so great.
Yeah, you were able.
So I took some liberties with making some unique art that went into it to cover up what was going on, instead of just having you seeing him talking the whole time. And so some of the ones that were some of the graphics that were on today with CJ Edwards and the flag and the team with the city flag on there, I did all that and kind of wanted to put some a unique look to it.
Well, I got to apologize to the podcast people. Hopefully we can describe this enough, if those of you that are listening to it. But what I do want to play the film live. It's only 3 minutes long. Each episode is about 3 minutes long. Yeah. If we have time, we'll play more throughout the show, but I just want to definitely at least play one, because I know we could yap about the Cubs for the entire hour that we're going to be with you. So without further ado, let's put this on. And if you want to talk over it, your mic is still live, Tim, if you have anything to say over what we're looking at. So
yeah, like the director's commentary.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let me see if I can get this. I'm having some internet issues. If people can,
damn internet.
Well, I'm in. Somebody asked in the chat where I am. I'm actually in Mexico right now. So, so here we go.
They got great Wi-Fi down there.
Oh, you can't hear that, can you?
I can.
I can.
Yeah, we hear it, Danny.
Okay, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 MLB champions, the Chicago Cubs.
And just for people who are watching, these are still photos. They're not. Just so you don't get confused, it's not animated.
Yeah, it's not animated, but there's still photos, but they've been stylized into like a cartoon kind of.
The United States.
Yeah, it's a little bit choppy here because of you playing it that way in the audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here is something none of my predecessors ever got a chance to say. Welcome to the White House, the World Series champion, Chicago Cubs.
You know, and we know he's a White Sox fan. I wonder how much that just sort of irks him.
The last time the Cubs won,
He was a good sport about it. He actually, he even put on the jersey.
Edison was still
Yeah, I
alive.
know.
The first Cubs radio broadcast wouldn't be for almost 2 decades. We've been through world wars, Cold War, depression, a space race, all manner of social and technological change. But during that time, those decades were also marked by Phil Cavaretta and Ernie Banks. Billy Williams is here today. Ron Santo. Bird. Ryan Sandberg.
You call him Bird. Bird.
Yeah.
Maddox. Grace. Those decades were punctuated by Harry Carey's exuberance, hey, and holy cow. And
I love those
off by
pictures
Go
you
Cubs
threw
Go.
in there.
So the first thing that made this championship so special for so many is that the Cubs know what it's like to be loyal and to persevere and to hope and to suffer and then keep on hoping. People all across the city remember the
I like
first time
Borzillo in
parents
that
took
shot.
them to Wrigley. Or memories of climbing in the
Right
sky
behind
paths after
Rossi,
watch
yeah.
games on WG.
Or no, over on the side.
And that's part of the reason, by the way, why Michelle made sure that Jose Cardinal was here, because that was her favorite player. And she was describing. Back then, he had a big afro, and she was describing how she used to try to wear her hat over her afro the same way Jose did.
That picture is hilarious.
Yeah, I liked coming up creating that one. That was fun.
So
And
yeah,
Tim, you know that's totally a Jose stand up, and all the mannerisms, everything was just perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, you definitely captured like so you know, for the podcast people, these he took these different pictures and he stylized them and, you know, redrew them. But as it goes through, you almost feel like it's animated, like Crawley said, like with the way, like I feel like I saw Jose stand up and put his hands up like that. Like
Right.
You really did pick out the spots that really stood out maybe to the rest of us. You know, I'm only speaking for myself, but it really did, you know, take me right back to watching that again, but enhanced better with the extra stuff you had with the World War II stuff, and you had Brickhouse and Harry and all of that. It's really well done. Please tell everybody where they can find it on YouTube and the website, all that stuff, because everybody needs to go watch this.
Well, thank you. First of all, I appreciate the kind words. And like you say, the next one where President Obama kind of talks about the actual series and the Game 7 and all that, and how at the end, and Rizzo putting the ball in his pocket. So I went frame by frame and tried to capture each time when he was like saying it. So when he went to his pocket, President Obama went to his pocket, that shot is in there recreated in the graphic novel style. And then the Rizzo thing, which I did, which came from an actual shot of Rizzo putting the ball in his pocket, and then, you know, enhanced that where you kind of zoomed in and, you know, said, I'm keeping this or something to that effect or whatever. So
Can we watch another one? I'd love to watch another one. I think we have time. All we're going to do, I mean, I'm looking down at the script. We're going to talk about Boog and Deshays being back. So no change in the broadcasters. That is like boring. Then we're going to talk about the lockout, which we've been talking about all freaking since December 1st. And then we're going to talk about how they want to cut a bunch of minor league paid jobs. Like that is our plan. So I think we just play another one. You know what I mean? So,
all the depressing. Put it off.
Yeah,
they can find it on YouTube. My Boys of Spring website. Yeah, this is number 2.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get that. That does auto played real quick. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just saying where you can find it at Boys of Spring, where it's on, where all of the episodes of the Cub Talks are there too, which kind of stopped somewhat in the middle of season 2 because of the COVID. And, I kind of took a hiatus from the world in a sense, as a lot of us did. Then it's also on YouTube. Tim Sheridan and Boys of Spring probably get you there both ways.
Yeah.
So
You see what I did here? I just searched Tim Sheridan Cubs.
that'll get you right there.
That'll get you right there. And remember, don't just watch it, share it. Share it out there with people. Let other people that don't know us and don't know Tim, let them find this, because it really should be out there for everyone.
Appreciate that, Michael.
Hey, and one quick question. Did you do the theme song as well? Where'd the theme song come from?
So that theme song, yes, I actually co-wrote that with another diehard Cubs fan, who is a guy who's in a band called Elephant Revival. Dango Rose, they kind of, I think, somewhat broke up a couple years back, but super talented group of people, and he's a diehard Cubs fan. And we felt like we wanted to put together a little bit of a kind of an old school rock anthem that was about the Cubs, which, Go Cubs Go has its place in history. It'll never be replacing Go Cubs Go, but it's from a different era. So we wanted to kind of do our own thing. So we co-wrote that song and produced it, and he got some of his other musician friends to get involved. And so we played that actually every spring training game of the 2016 season. So it kind of has a real kind of a vibe going back to that. And I also used this microphone that I used to hand to Harry Carey, that's autographed by Ryan Sandberg. We use this for some of the Cubs chants, so it had Harry Carey mojo in it as well.
I saw Crawley salivate, for his man.
Look at his eyes,
Like, oh boy, man, I got to get in Tim Sheridan's will and outlive the guy. I saw his eyes. All right, so I'm gonna play issue. This is issue 2 of the graphic novel Call Them Champs, and let me start it up here. Big light shining on every wall, bleeding blue October falls. Call Them Champs, issue 2.
That brings me to the other thing that was so special about this championship, and that's just the guys behind me, the team. They steamrolled the majors this year with a 103 win record. All you had to know about this team was encapsulated in that one moment in Game 5, down 3-1, do or die, in front of the home fans, when David Ross and John Lester turned to each other and said, "I love you, man." I said, "I love you too." It was sort of like Obama-Biden moment. And then finally, the game itself and the series itself. Come back from a 3-1 deficit against a great Cleveland Indians team, force what is widely considered the greatest Game 7 of all time. Dexter Fowler becomes the first player to hit a leadoff home run in Game 7. Javi Baez hits another leadoff in the 5th. David Ross becomes the oldest player to knock one out in Game 7 as well. Kyle Schwarber, who's been hurt and hobbled, then suddenly he comes in and gets 7 hits in the series, 3 in Game 7 alone. And then you got the 10th inning, you've got the rain. God finally feeling mercy on Cubs fans. An entire game, an entire season An entire century of hope and heartbreak, all coming down to a one-inning sprint. And then at 12:47 a.m. Eastern time, Brian looks like he's going to slip. Everybody's getting a little stressed. Tosses it to Rizzo. Rizzo gets the ball, slips it in his back pocket, which shows excellent, situational awareness. and suddenly, everything has changed. No more black cats, billy goats, ghosts, flubbed grounders. Chicago Cubs are the champs. And on ESPN, you've got Van Pelt saying one of the all-time great nights. You've got Tim Kirkjian calling it the greatest night of baseball in the history of the game.
I mean, it did take ESPN
our
another
hometown
2 years
becomes the
to
very
forget about the
definition of
Billy
joy.
Goat, but whatever.
So in Chicago, I think it's fair to say you guys will be popular for a while.
So, Tim, I got to ask you, is there some players that you enjoyed drawing or were easier to draw than others?
Well, technically, and here's another cat getting out of the bag on this one, I didn't actually draw them. I used a computer program to do that. So I selected each frame, and then I went through a process, like a multi-step process, to get the look I wanted and the coloration that I wanted and all of that, and the kind of graphic novel look, and then did it that way. And some of those, like I say, the Rizzo thing, I kind of made up what that would be. Obviously, he had the one shot of him putting it in his pocket, but then, that creative part where it zooms in and said, "You're coming with me," that stuff is, I kind of took the liberties and, made it a little more interesting and unique to watch it that way. Yeah.
It's such a neat thing, and there's so many possibilities with this. No, for this, you just did the Obama speech, congratulate them at the White House, but you could do anything that there's footage of in this way. If it, the Sandberg game, and you just take still shots from that game and describe that and comment on it in graphic novel style. It's very, very cool idea, and I think Cub fans, if you keep making these, will enjoy watching them.
It is a cool
I
idea.
enjoy making them. So there's that. This one actually, and I know, Danny, that you've dipped into the NFT world a little bit.
Oh, God.
Danny will tell you all about it.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah, have I?
I don't mean to encourage you, but so these three, each episode is available as an NFT. It's actually going on auction tomorrow on Rarible, and then that each of those three, and there'll only be one NFT. Everybody else and all of us can watch it on YouTube and on my Boys of Spring free. I don't even care. I love people to watch it, but I figured, why not make a one-of-a-kind collectible for somebody who's into the NFTs? So there'll only be one NFT of each one of these episodes, and then the auction will end on President's Day on Monday, which seems very appropriate for this particular graphic novel series. So
cool. Well, good luck to you. I had no bids on my Cup Snaker baseball cards, but then again, I don't think anybody has Ethcoin. I really don't think they have it. And then I actually was at a Super Bowl party with a guy who does have Ethcoin. He goes, "I was going to buy your NFT, but it was and it was only $5." And he goes, "I was going to do it just to do it." He goes, "But then it was going to be all these transaction fees to spend the $5." And I was like, well, that was the point of having fake money in the first place, was that we could put it around to each other easy, and now that's screwed up. Even that.
Yeah, it's the whole, I didn't know a lot about the NFTs until about a year and a half ago. And actually, before I got to this graphic novel, I started a NFT baseball card collection, which started at the beginning of last baseball season. And I was looking to do something different because I saw all these, JPEGs of whatever, apes, monkey, punks, crypto punks, and all this stuff.
Bored apes, yeah.
Paying all this money for, and I'm like, well, how about I actually create something that seems like it's worthwhile and kind of neat and unique? So I started looking at a baseball card collection that focused on a lot of the underserved populations of baseball, Negro leagues, Cuban league, there's even 2 women. I have 40 cards out there. I stopped making the cards mainly because of what you said, Danny, is the gas prices become so inflated that if you don't find just the right time when it's cheap, like on a Sunday late at night. So I'm offered the cards up fairly reasonable for a common card. It was under $10, $9. But if you have to pay $55 or $75 in gas fees, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know? So
it'll change. All I'm saying is, this is all going over most of
Yeah, Crowley's over there. Crowley's like, cost me $50 to fill my gas tank every week now.
Exactly.
Well, that's inflation for you. The damn gas fees. No, but it's all the very beginning. It's the Wild West. I mean, people are collecting these digital coins. I mean, look at the people running around the world collecting Pokemons on their phones. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's this has been going on for like 5 years. So it's just going to get weirder, and I'm here for it all. But we got to pay the bills here at this channel. So
pay those dang bills.
But yes, for now, how about you buy some real stuff? And how about some T-shirts from Sun Ranto Swag at the Sun Ranto website? You can buy all of our amazing T-shirts. Here's the commercial for it. We'll be back in a minute, and we're going to talk about some Cubs stuff, or baseball stuff anyway.
Do you like having sex? Me too. That's why I always wear my Sun Ranto Swag shirts every time I'm looking to get some. It's the only t-shirt guaranteed to get you laid. Knock boots in your shankless shirt. Bump uglies in a Ranter long sleeve. Ride the skin busted Tuna Town in a Dabbing Cubes fan shirt. Take gold one-eye to the optometrist in your bull penis awesome attire, or smash pissers in a Spagog shirt. Sun Ranto Swag shirts are just like people. There are many different sizes and colors to choose from. Plus, at Sun Ranto's Swag Store, you'll find vintage John Baker Day, Designated Hater, and Matt Cameron drawn rally titty designs on everything from shirts and hoodies to baby onesies, bags, and hats. Go to sunranto.com/swag and check out all the sexy styles guaranteed to get you laid. You'll be stuffing the soft taco in no time. sunranto.com/swag, guaranteed to get you laid.
Wearing Sun Ranto Swag products not guaranteed to get you laid. Sun Ranto Swag is not responsible for your sex life. Sun Ranto Swag is for entertainment purposes only.
I just canceled my order if I'm not going to get laid. I thought that was part of the deal.
No, you weren't supposed to hear that part at the end. I talked too fast. So,
Tim, quick question for you. You know, in a year where there's a lot of like low points in the Cubs season, you had a high point this last season, didn't you, in Chicago at Wrigley Field?
I did. Hey, thank you for bringing that up. I got to live out like one of my bucket list dreams, and not everybody gets a chance to do some of those things. And that was actually announced at Wrigley Field. And after doing 38 seasons for the Cubs at spring training, it kind of felt like, yeah, I finally made the show. So that was pretty cool. And it also was a Twins Cubs game. So I grew up in Minnesota. I was a Twins fan as a kid, you know. Patterned my high school batting technique after Rod Carew because I didn't have any power, for one thing. But, so yeah, that being able to do the Cubs against the Twins at the Cubs at Wrigley Field on September 22nd was amazing. It was just
I believe I saw you that evening. Didn't we get you out of
we
the
did.
After
I was done, I swung out there.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that happened, even though a lot of things that happened at Wrigley Field I forget about.
Was it? I mean, were you just kind of in awe of the way everything was, and in any nerves or anything like that, or were you just comfortable and having fun?
Well, yeah, there was some nervousness because basically I was looking at this as like my one chance to do it. So if you screw up on your only chance, that's what they're going to remember. So not messing up, which I didn't, was like, yes. But, you know, there's a little nervousness because it's not my normal element down at spring training at Sloan Park. It's like, I'm so used to doing that it's just pretty comfortable no matter what. But the Wrigley Field's a whole different ballpark. Literally,
yeah.
And you got to see, I'm sure, Pat Hughes and all, and everybody in the area. You know, I don't know who's Boog, I think, was announcing that day, and JD.
Yeah, it was really cool because I was in the lunchroom, just getting a bite to eat before everything got going, and some guy comes and cranks on my shoulder. I'm like, whoa, what? It's Ron Coomer. He's like, hey, Tim, and he's like, I heard you were going to be here, and he's a good guy. We go back a ways, so it was
Another
it was kinda
Minnesota
tough how we-
Minnesota connection, right?
Exactly. So yeah, so it was just like it was one of those nights where it looked like it was going to storm, and it ended up being like this amazing, like kind of pink clouds and stormy clouds, but I think it might have misted rain just slightly, but nothing to stop the game or anything. But it was just beautiful visual looking out there at Wrigley Field. So just to be sitting there and announcing and then seeing that, it was like insane.
Those late September skies and the sun sets right around 7:00 down, the towards the west there. I mean, just kind of out the left field corner that you see. I mean, there's really not a better view. I mean, the only other view that I would ever say was maybe the best view in baseball, I'd say Colorado, when you're up on the top and the sun setting there, that was absolutely gorgeous as well. But that was a beautiful late September day. I do remember that day. So you worked with Boog and Jim Deshaies. You've worked with all these guys down there. You've hung out with them, and the Cubs just announced that they're bringing Boog and Deshaies back. Now, this might be a little controversial on this show because Michael Cotton he's a hater. What can I say? The man's a hater. I found his burner account on Twitter, by the way. Here it is. I found that's Michael's burner account. It's at Approve Man, who replied to Watch Marquis' tweet about Boog and Deshaies coming back. Unconscionable. At Boog Sciambi is the worst. Watch Marquis will continue to lose to the radio. So, Michael, it's worst, not worse.
That's not mine because there were no swear words in that.
Now, Tim, I was wondering, if you had heard anything or if you got a vibe, 2021 was a weird spring training. You could go on the backfields, the players walking out into the complex. I mean, no interaction, no tailgating, no nothing. Have you heard anything about what it's going to be like this year? Is it all systems go? Are there restrictions? What are we looking at here?
Well, when I talked to the Cubs, it felt like they didn't tell me exactly what was going to happen. So I just got the feeling that it was going to be back to normal, we were under, I think it was like a 2,600 fans, 2,600 fans was the limit, and Sloan Park, we get 16,000 in there regularly, or, right up at the top of sellout at 16,000. So it was really weird because it just like didn't seem like there was anybody there. Yet, there was a couple thousand plus, which is, a little more than, the Brewers draw in any spring training game ever.
I was just going to say, it was like, calling a game for some other team that nobody gives a shit about,
Yep.
Or possibly the 2013 Cubs.
And I got to tell you, Tim, I'm sitting here and I'm out in the berm. And they have all the people with the signs, put your mask on, please. And so if you had your mask off for like 30 seconds, they were vigilant, like running up, waving the sign. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of heard that.
But, and one thing I'm interested about is because like the minor leaguers are going to be at spring training this whole time. And I heard the Cubs Talk podcast the other day, and they were talking about would the major league teams ever use scabs to get some of these games out there and use some of these minor leaguers, outside of a contract as scab players. And it wasn't out of the realm of complete possibility, depending on how ugly this gets. And some of the news that we got this week about minor league pay, not only just pay, jobs itself, like the teams want to cut from 180 to have the permission to do 150 minor league teams. They already cut 42 baseball teams out of the minors. A lot of these guys are down at spring training not getting paid, and then when they do get paid, they're only getting $8,000 to $12,000 a year. The owners want to take that down even further, and they want to pay what they paid last time, just to less people. So it's just like and so I know you've been around a lot of this stuff. What do you see happening? Do you think I mean, I know you've been around a lot of minor leaguers over the course of many years. Like, and you might have some more personal knowledge about how some of these guys live down at spring training, tend to a room on air mattresses. You might have partied with some of these guys. I'm interested to hear if you have any insight into that. And the other thing I'm wondering about is that, do you foresee a situation in which they would start these spring training games with the Brennan Davis and the crew? Or I guess Brennan Davis wouldn't be allowed because he's 40.
Yeah, he's on the 40 man.
Right. So I don't see that happening this time around. It happened in 95. They had the replacement players. And that was weird. So going back to the spring of 1995, the Cubs came to me and said, hey, we're going to have replacement players, and, it's not going to be the same as it usually is. Do you want to announce the games, which essentially make me a scab? But it's not like the coal mines of the 1950s and nobody's throwing bricks at me walking into old Ho comp. So.
Tim, they're throwing 100-mile-per-hour baseballs. It's worse.
Pinkerton.
They have much better aim as well.
Exactly. So the thing was, I had to wait. It's like, if I tell the Cubs no, I mean, then you're probably the end of me and my Cubs relationship. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll do it. And let's just say that the baseball was not good. It was funny at times, and people like, I don't think he was in the Cactus League, but Pete Rose Jr. and people who had these long distinguished careers or not were out there. So anyhow, I did that, and we had, a handful of games, and then they've got things figured out and brought the regular major leaguers back, and we had another, like a second spring training where I got to announce. So I actually got to announce 2 springs in one. So if I don't get a spring this year, I'm counting that as my 39th year, because this would be 39, and I want to miss 39 because next year will be the big 4-0. So, they're not going to screw me out of that. But that's a personal story. Okay.
Have you been following any of the negotiations and what the players want versus the owners? And
yeah, I have. And, I try not to get too deep into it because it just gets frustrating. And there's, oh gosh, I feel for the players, but at the same time, here's a guy who comes in, and I kind of count on that income every year because I've been doing it for so long. And that's, so it's nice to have, but it's a pittance. So I have the empathy is a little harder to motivate when, like, people say millionaires and billionaires negotiating, but I get it from the player's standpoint. I understand it because there's just so much, the owners have so much control and so much power over the finances that, I would be with the players trying to figure that out myself and get a better deal. But for fans, it just becomes frustrating because I'm tired of hearing about the contracts and the finances and what they need and don't need. I just want them to play baseball. I want to announce baseball. It's like,
Tim, and I'm getting nervous because I forget what they said. 117 million people watched the Super Bowl this last weekend, and not one World Series game broke over 14 million. I mean, they are absolutely just killing generations of fans. They're killing the game. And when a lot of us were all growing up, we would talk about the national pastime. The Super Bowl was nothing. You know what I mean? Like and now all of a sudden you're sitting here and you can't even get one game to draw even close to what a meaningless Monday Night Football game would be. So you better figure out what's wrong with your sport and make it more appealing to the fan bases, because right now it's looking bad. And this is right after the pandemic, you're pulling this stuff.
Yeah, totally. The timing couldn't be worse, to be honest. But then I heard some people talking too after, like, almost all of those football playoff games were coming down to like last second field goals and come from behind and wins. I mean, it was, from a football standpoint, if everyone I'm hearing, is like super exciting. So you got that going on, and now you're doing this. Let's just say you're not going to really compete against football anymore. That's kind of gone. So you've got to figure out what you're going to do. Otherwise, you're going to be going further down on the depth chart against other sports, and I don't think they want that.
They have the answer. They already figured out the answer. It's the universal DH. With the DH, interest will stream back to the game of baseball. It's all that little kids that wanted was never to see pitchers hit. That's all they wanted.
Hold on. They're not testing for any drugs right now, right? So
Yeah,
Nope.
exactly.
everybody's getting chunked up and ready to go. And
Sosa, McGuire, redo.
exactly.
Yeah, GBH and the DH. Is that as a growth hormone? No, GH. What? GB?
No, you're talking about liquid G, dude. Get your drugs
liquid
straight.
G. Yeah, whatever.
HGH, human growth hormone.
HGH, yeah, HGH and the DH. That's all we need. Well, yeah, that's it feels like they're pretty far apart still. I know the owners they offered some kind of tiered minimum wage thing. The players want more of a draft lottery. They don't have the framework on that. But the money is like it's always that it seems that just like in 2020 when they said that they were only going to play, they're like we'll pay you 80% for 80 games. Or we'll pay you 100% for 60 games, or you can play 100 games and we'll pay you 60%. And then they had all these things, so they were just
and the number was the same no matter what.
Was the same. Like we have exactly $400 million, and that's what we're doing, and that's it. That's all we're doing. And they wouldn't come up above that, and it seems like now it's the very similar situation in that. The owners are just keep dressing up, keep putting in lipstick on the same pig and throwing it back out there. And, and that just seems like, and the question is, are the players going to dig in? And you got a lot of guys that are, I don't know, it feels like they're a more socially conscious bunch this time around. They've got a lot more of the fans' ear because of social media, and I hope they don't dig in too much good, but I don't think the owners budge. That's the problem. I don't think the owners are going to budge.
I think the big thing this time around is that social media aspect, because in the 94, 95 strike, you only had the only narrative we were getting was the owners. And I think it's much more, I don't know, at least I notice, I guess, much more of the players' positions and what they're doing. And I hope that will help them move past this and make the owners kind of break down, but they're not really looking like they want to right now. And
the one thing I will tell you, and this is what I've heard, is that as far as ticket offices, and I'm not talking just the Cubs, just in general on baseball, ticket sales are abysmal right now. Clearly nobody's buying tickets because they don't know if there's going to be games. They don't know if there's going to be a season. And so for the Cubs, it doesn't affect them as much because of the percentage of season ticket holders. Obviously that we've talked about them burning through that list, but there still is a list and people are still buying them. Okay. But when you talk about a team like the White Sox, like Tampa Bay, like Oakland, you can't afford to sit here and
brought up a bunch of AL teams that have had the DH for the last 50 years. Sorry.
Pittsburgh. Let's go Pittsburgh. But you get what I'm saying is that you are in a situation where you're not, this is a time period where you're selling a bunch of tickets, right? Usually around February when they start selling single game tickets and all that stuff, you got nobody that's really interested. I don't see that there's going to be a lot of demand for people to buy tickets.
Yeah. Well, and you got 2020 and like how that was I was mad. Those they could have been the first sport back and they weren't. And that was just really telling right there. These guys, they haven't been talking to each other for years. It's been contentious this entire time. And now you're in this situation where the clock it's already late. It's already too late to not piss people off because they're already missing pitchers and catchers. There's going to be missed games, at least from a spring training standpoint. If they don't cut if they get some, they'll obviously play some games if they get a spring training. And if they don't figure it out till, June, Tim, you might be you might be back in Arizona in June. Like, I don't know what they'll do.
Oh, the perfect time to go to Arizona. Yeah, June.
Lovely.
No, they'll just have their kind of warm up 3 weeks or whatever up in Chicago at the Wrigley, probably, because
Yeah.
they're definitely not going to have games down there if it gets to June, because
although that's
June, it's already getting nasty in Arizona. And Phoenix.
But I think that in many respects, as far as training and gearing up, I know that the facilities at Wrigley are a lot better than they were, but Sloan Park is brand new. Sloan Park, and some of those training facilities, they have multiple fields.
They would definitely train down there. I just don't see them as having spring training games at that particular time. If it got pushed back too far, they'll just scrap the games, and they'll have to, because they won't be able to have, like, a lot of snowbirds work at those games. They volunteer their time to do stuff. They all leave. Like, they don't want to be in Arizona in June when it's 110 degrees out. They get out of there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
So we're gonna have to take another quick commercial break and end this episode. As I just want to remind everybody to type hashtag capital chance, CHANCE, capital CHANCE, into the chat for your chance to win a postcard of Frank Chance to you by me. And it's a very cool thing, because I usually tell people I love them, and who doesn't need that in their life? And then we're going to play a little commercial. We'll be back in a minute. We're going to talk about some of we have the new segment. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is we've each picked an item from the Cubs related item from one of the Sunranto links at sunranto.com/shopping, this is a commercial for. So stick tuned. If you're like most Americans, you buy shit. Lots of shit. Sometimes you buy shit for other people. Sometimes you buy shit for yourself. And sometimes you buy shit you have to buy just to stay alive. So why not buy shit through the Sunranto affiliate? Links at sunranto.com/shopping. We've got tons of shit you can buy. Go to sunranto.com, click on the shopping link, then click our ads and buy shit. We've got Amazon. They've got tons of shit. But you can also buy MLB shit, NBA shit, NFL shit, Fans Ed shit, Southwest Airlines shit, Fanatic shit, Reebok shit, Wine of the Month shit, Beer of the Month shit, Bear Mattress shit, StubHub shit, Lid shit, Sports Memorabilia shit, Volcanica coffee shit, Vibrator shit, Condom shit, Bag shit, NHL shit, and Audible membership shit. There's a whole lot of shit that can help the Sunranto show stay on the air so we can keep talking shit. So buy shit today through sunranto.com/shopping. Thanks. Cubs Jesus thinks you're the shit. So this is a new segment we're going to do every now and again whenever we feel like it, called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I was going to make some spaghetti western music, but instead I think I'll just go. That's good enough, right? Yeah. So, Carly, you've got the good this week, and this is pretty cool. And I'm going to drop the link for this in the chat. It's only $350. Now, let me ask, full disclosure, do you own this? I noticed there's only 5 available.
No, I do not own it. I actually, if you guys remember, I'm in that Cubs memorabilia group where we do a lot of different raffles and razzes to try to win stuff. And I did try to win that. It was 30 chances at $10 a chance. Hashtag chance. But this is really a beautiful piece. It was done by Fanatics, and it has just a phenomenal large Anthony Rizzo autograph. It's a big piece, 20 by 24, but it's called In Focus. And so it's a really cool picture that just kind of focuses on Rizzo about to hit one. And behind him, it just looks like all sorts of cool stuff. Like the Cubs colors are just like exploding behind him. And so they do these sometimes with Fanatics, this or what's the In Focus one, or I have a spotlight photo, which is Rizzo on the tarp where everything's blackened out except for Rizzo catching the ball on the tarp. And I always love that kind of artistic look. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a unique piece. I dig it. It's Rizzo freaking smashing one. Actually, it looks like he's going to not hit it on the barrel of the bat in this picture. It kind of looks like he might yank this one foul down the third base
I would
line.
say it looks like a gender reveal photo if the baby was going to be born a Cubs fan.
It is. It's totally. They're about to light a fire over there.
It's a fan reveal. Is what it is. So Michael, you have the bad, and this link. This is pretty funny.
It is.
What year is this? This is from one of our affiliates at Sports Memorabilia. Com.
Yeah.
I'll put the link to this one in the chat if you want to buy it. This one's only $20. The Rizzo's 300.
This is 1950s. I see Gene Baker in there. I see Ransom Jackson.
No, okay. So this is, let me tell you about this card. This is a 1956 Cubs team card, right? So it's got the whole team standing there. And if you're not Crawley, you won't recognize anyone really, except for Ernie Banks and maybe Yosh Kawano over there on the left in the blue shirt.
See, this card is worth a buy, except for that it has pinholes in the
no,
top.
but that's why I put it in the bad. They're charging $19.99 for this, even though there's nobody on the team that you'd know. They went 60, 94, and 3 for dead last in the National League that year.
3? They're just like, yeah, you guys suck. We're just gonna count this a tie.
Yeah, and it's in terrible condition. It's got pinholes in it. It's messed up, and they still want $20. And to make it worse, like it might be worth $20 in this condition if it were the rare misprint. So you can actually find this on the same site, that sports memorabilia site. If you want to spend about another $50, you can get a similar condition card that has 1955 right next to the Chicago Cubs. It's a Topps misprint, 1955 on the 1956 team.
Now, Tim, am I right that Hank Sauer, who was 1952 MVP, back row, but wasn't he considered Mr. Cub before Ernie Banks?
Yeah, I was going to say Hank Sauer's in there, and I'll tell you one thing that Hank could do. I met him once at a Lou Boudreau golf tournament when I was very young, public address announcer. And Hank Sauer can drink. Man, I can put it away.
Does he like sours?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he had the proverbial gin blossom nose, man. You could put it away. It was a VIP party right out in front of old HOCOM, and I got to meet like all these like who's who of the Chicago like sports, and I'm just this punk kid who's like, oh my God, it's Bobby Hull. Oh, that's I met Enos Slaughter of all people. Yeah, nice. And he was like, I think he was about 77 at the time, and I kid you not, we're talking, there's a couple people around, and he says, how many 77-year-old people can do this? And he goes and he kicks like a punter and kicks his foot over his head and touches his foot to I'm like, I don't know, I can't do that now, much less when I'm 77. So,
I don't think I ever could do it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, okay, still athletic.
Yep. So the last bit, so that was the bad, this card, and I like it because of the Yosh Kawano personally.
Yeah,
I was blown away when I'm looking, and that was like one
young.
of the only names that I recognize.
He worked there since the 30s. Like any team card is like for basically 100 years going to have Yosh on it. So then I have the ugly, and I don't know, why do they do this? I don't understand. It comes from Lids, the brilliant designers at Lids who decided to be great. Well, let me ask you guys, what color is this? What color is this?
Cardinal red.
I mean, I don't even see it as red. I see this as like burnt orange.
Yeah, that looks like it would be on like the Texas Longhorns, like the isn't that the football team?
Yeah, it's like somewhere between cardinal red and burnt orange. But like, look at the C in the Cubs. The C is white with pink outline, like I'm at Dunkin' freaking Donuts.
See, but I think that just looks pink because it's actually red against that weird orange thing, and it messes with your eyes.
Yeah, it's just bad. If you go to Lids, I mean, they got some great hats there. They really do. Some really great stuff with the Chicago flag and whatnot. But holy cow, do they have a bunch of stinkers. And I'm like, why do you make me wade through this garbage? So that's the ugly.
That's the hat. Red. Yeah, that's the hat that Danny wants you to buy for him for his birthday coming up.
Yeah, it'll really bring out my red coloring. So
red on red.
So there's our new little segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As always, shop through our links at sunranto.com/shopping. And I didn't tell you guys I was going to do this. I've got a new contest that I'm going to start, because what I didn't realize, because we have the Amazon search bar, or the search, the ad you can click on. If you buy stuff at Amazon, then we get a cut. It's like 1 or 2%, which is barely. They owe us $1.68 or something like that. It's very exciting. But I didn't realize, because it's $1.68. I was like, oh, look, somebody bought something. I didn't realize that was actually a lot of people buying stuff, or maybe just one person buying multiple things, but it was like $100 worth of stuff, and we end up getting $1.68. Now, what I didn't know that I could find out was what people bought. So I screenshotted, and I have a new contest that we're going to do every single month.
Just before you get to this, I do want people to still use the search bar, and I don't want to discourage anybody.
No, I agree. But here's the thing. It is
we have a completely different link for the thing that you're worried about, Crawley.
Here's the thing. It is not connected to anybody's name. It is just the item they bought. I don't know who bought it. So the winner of this contest actually will have to come forward as the winner.
You know, that's what they told Sammy Sosa and the rest of the players in 2003 when they took a piss test. No, they're never going to find out. They're never going to know. It's all anonymous.
Yep.
Exactly.
And if you don't come forward, we will never invite you to another Sun Ranto party again.
But it's absolutely all anonymous. I actually looked to see if I could see who bought what. But actually, and there's nothing embarrassing on here. Here we go. Here is the things that were bought, and these are the people that are in the running for we're going to do it per month. So the last show of the month is when I'm going to announce this. The first show of the month, we're going to do Patreon winner. The last show of the month, we're doing Amazon winner. We have somebody bought a canine kebab, real chicken, and duck dog treats.
What if this is just one person? This looks like a grocery list almost.
It could be just one person, but in other words, that one person will win. So if you use our Amazon search bar, we see it. You just come forward, you say you bought this stuff, and you win a prize. What do you win? Bleacher Bum Band shot glasses. I got a pair of Bleacher Bum Band shot glasses for you. There's an iPhone case, cinnamon jelly beans from Jelly Belly. Dawn.
One pound of cinnamon jelly beans.
1 pound.
That's a lot of jelly beans.
A lot of beans, man.
Yeah, and there's a Gain laundry detergent. No Tide for them. They know what they like. And a nutrition plan, high protein chocolate shake. So I'm guessing.
Oh, you know what?
In the contest,
balances
that
out the
nutrition
jelly
plan.
Right?
That's part of the Sun Ranto weight loss challenge that we're doing right now. Somebody's trying to lose that weight, and we are still doing that. Everybody out there, you're actually doing good. I've been seeing the weights. It's looking pretty good.
Some people gained weight.
I gained weight this week.
We got to pinch this off. We got the color thing at 15.
Yeah.
It was the Super Bowl. It's time to get back in it, though. Drink those chocolate shakes. Let's lose some weight, everybody.
You can still join, by the way. I just dropped the link in the chat, the Google Doc. If I guess it's not posting everywhere, but you can join our weight loss challenge. We still got another month and change before it's over. Just quick announcements. Martyrdom of Peter O'Hay is still going on at Trapdoor. We had Ronnie Woo Woo in the house the other night. He was at the play. Here he is. The Bleacher Bum Band came. My Thai guy was there. All the Bleacher Bum Band, Robert from the Lost Boys and Bleacher Bum, he came out. But I loved it because, Dennis, the Cardinals fan, I didn't tell him Woo Woo was coming. And Dennis is the lead in the play. He's sitting there in the beginning of the show for the first 20 minutes. After they open the house, he's sitting on stage reading a book. And I knew he could see Ronnie Woo in full Cubs uniform walking. And I was like, I'm not even going to tell this son of a bitch that Ronnie Woo was coming to the play. And I'm like, the whole show's set in a circus. I'm like, I'm going to bring the circus tonight, baby. Here comes Ronnie Woo Woo and my Thai guy. Enjoy your night. And then the night got better because how Chicago is this picture. This is at the bar afterwards. Here's me, Ronnie Woo Woo, and Tamale Guy. And that's the original Tamale Guy who comes in, and the longtime Chicagoans know all about Tamale Guy. But this is the greatest picture I think I've ever taken in Chicago of those just two Chicago freaking legends.
Somebody has a picture of me at Cubs convention getting ready to ask a question with Ronnie Woo Woo behind me prepping his question.
He's got his note 3x5 note cards, and
his question is basically, will you guys let me in again? And then unfortunately we're gonna have some little bit of sad news, but the ranters always make stuff like this happen. Our friend,
we always make this stuff happen.
Well, we make it happen because we try to make people happy for when things are sad. But our good friend Joe Kilgallen, who's been on this show many times, very funny comedian, great friend of ours. His dad died, and very young, only 66. So here's the mass card of Matthew Kilgallen, and there's a little his mass card says, "And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow. Let it be," from the Beatles, and that's on his mass card, and we're gonna put the same inscription, or I'm not gonna, but Matt Kammerer is gonna put the same inscription on. Matthew's a diehard Chicago Cubs fan, native Chicagoan, and so we're going to get a map made for him by Mr. Kammerer. Kammerer is going to do a frame too, get a really nice frame and have it all sent up. So we're going to use the $400 that we raised, not only to pay Matt for that frame, but I actually sent a $100 donation to My Block, My Hood, My City, which is, according to the obituary, one of the places where you could donate. And it's an organization a lot like Lost Boys. So it's very much focused on the neighborhoods and helping kids in the city. They gave away over $1 million in grants last year to local neighborhood organizations. So they're kind of like, I'm going to look more into it. So it seems like a very cool thing. Ask Levante about them, because it seems like they probably all know each other because they're doing similar work. Right after the show, we're going to be on Colorcast, and this is unfortunately only for iOS users, but it's at colorcast.st. Colorcast.st. You can download it. Follow Son Ranto Show. It's a little bit different than Green Room, but they're paying us to use it, so we're going to use it, and we'll be on there. And we also thank them for sponsoring the show. So just real quick, TFCs, and we'll get the hell out of here. And then we'll do a chance for a chance. We've got to do that too. So chance in the chat.
We could
chance.
probably do the TFCs on the Colorcast.
Nah, let's do them here. I got them in here.
Quick. Okay.
But they're in here. Yeah.
Okay.
They're in. I'll go first. This comes from oh man, this is just terrible. The Tampa Bay Rays. This was actually a graphic design of the Tampa Bay Rays payroll and Wander Franco's contract extension, which is pretty much the exact same amount. This is a Fox MLB graphic in which they have the Rays, like devil, the actual animal, the devil rays, two of them flying around what appear to be the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. So this is like just maybe the worst graphic of all time. And Buffalo Bill Dan on Twitter says, a graphic design miracle. It's like, I mean, now to be fair, this might have been actually designed by somebody who was born in 2001. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but it looks exactly like 9/11. Somebody at Fox needs to freaking figure this out, because that's a little rough. Next, let me show you. All
right, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. We're running low on time here.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, I thought you had another thing to go. Okay.
No, I don't.
Over on Bleacher Nation, the Shambi JD thing, and we have a definite this fucking cube. We're at it over there. JD, the head and the heart. JD, I love. Sometimes wish he was a little more edgy, but he's funny and sharp, and I love dry wit. Boog. Well, I'll say this. If that's his real personality, I can't imagine he has a lot of friends. He's leave when he shows up and go find another party in human form. He grates on me after an inning or two. 9 innings, 140 plus games. I'll miss JD.
What?
Like,
didn't he know that JD got re-signed too?
no, he's saying
he's not going to watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All righty. Mine really quick.
He went deep on that one.
Once again,
Mine-
Michael's burner account.
Marquee Sports Network says Boog and JD are here to say Marquee Sports Network reaches multi-year extension with John Sciambi and JD to announce this season. And Ty Cruz says, what will they be announcing this season?
Yeah. Chicago Dogs games, maybe.
Yeah, they had the Chicago Dogs logo in there.
All right, let's give away a postcard. Here's the chance for a chance. If you haven't done it yet, type in chance into the chat, and you can win a chance at a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me. Here we go. Hope everybody's in. Who will be the winner? John Pincus.
Oh, Teresa almost won.
Yeah, Teresa. Now, Teresa, is that's relation to you?
No, I have no idea. Actually, that's my ex-wife.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Danny, if Teresa would have won, Tim would have gotten half the postcard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would have just sent you the half with the part that said I love you on it.
Oh.
So thanks for everybody tuning in, and thank you to Tim Sheridan. It's always great to have you on the show, and definitely check out. Just type in Tim Sheridan into the YouTube search engine, Boys of Spring, all that stuff, and you'll find everything he's done.
Tim, have you been to
check out
the
that graphic audio novel? It's beautiful.
Tim? Have you been to the Beer Institute yet in Mesa?
I have. Yep.
Then that is where we
Several
shall
times.
meet up and have a beer or two or three.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm Hank Sauer level, but I'm going to try.
Well, I don't think we want to push it that much, but
So join us on Colorcast right after. Hopefully they'll get that out to Android users soon. And Spagog, everybody. Hopefully we'll have better news for you next week. But in the meantime, we're just going to keep bringing you this show.
Spagog.
Winter kept on roaring, spring never arrived. The earth was busy healing, 1,000,000 people died. Seems like another era, a long forgotten time, when we all were out at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. Watching the boys of summer send baseballs for a ride. A deep Chicago sunset, an orange and purple sky. I'm dreaming of those days, 'cause I remember you and I just loving being at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. I know that we'll come back if we can survive. The field will look so beautiful through wet and weary eyes. Sitting in the bleachers, my baby by my side, when we all are back at Wrigley drinking beer in the sunshine. When we all are